Good morning, church. My name is Sara Sanchez. Most of you know me as Alex's wife, and I'm here this morning to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born into a Christian home. I was raised in the church from a very young age. Up until I want to say 13, 14, I was getting into high school, and my family had some problems with the church and just kind of fell away from it. And so I was no longer attending, which it really impacted my life. I didn't have a really strong relationship with God anymore, and started to really delve into the things of this world. After I graduated from high school, I started getting into things like drugs and alcohol and partying, which led me into meeting my first husband. I met him at a party and thought, hey, this is the one who I'm supposed to be with. Because I wasn't walking strong with the Lord, I didn't pray, I didn't seek guidance whatsoever, and I got married at a very young age. And I was married for about 4 years. I had everything. I had everything that the world says that you should have. I had money, I had the big house, I had the cars, I had everything. And from my point of view, I had a happy life. I had everything that you're supposed to have. And one day my husband came to me and told me that he never loved me and he wanted to leave me and he wanted a divorce, which completely devastated me, of course, because I thought I had the life. But looking back now, I see that I didn't have a godly marriage, and it wasn't how it was supposed to be. So I got divorced. It was devastating. I fell into a really heavy depression, and instead of turning to the church because I didn't have that foundation there anymore, I turned back to the world. And the world told me I was supposed to go out and I was supposed to party and I was supposed to drink and meet somebody else. And so that's what I did. But I was about probably a few months, 3 or 4 months after my ex-husband had left me, I went out and partied one night with some friends and got very, very drunk and met a guy and ended up getting raped that night. It completely changed my life. I, of course, had nobody to turn to, so I had my ex-husband come pick me up, and I went home, and he left me at home, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt like I had nobody to turn to, and so I ended up taking a bunch of pills and slit my wrist and climbed into the bathtub and was ready to die. Until I was laying there and I felt this urge to cry out to God. And I tell Alex this all the time, that I really feel that I saw the Lord that day. I saw him hovering over me, and I just cried out to the Lord and asking for forgiveness, and I was terrified, and I just remember just crying and asking the Lord to help me and not to let me die. And I remember him just looking at me and smiling, and I could feel just this love and this presence from him. By the grace of God, I didn't die that day. I woke up in the hospital the next morning and decided, okay, it was a time for a change. And so after that, I started going to church, met some amazing people there, and started to be obedient to the Word of God. I rededicated my life to the Lord and decided to go to Bible college out in Marietta, which was just an experience beyond anything I could ever tell you. I put everything in my life on hold, which is what the world told me not to do. My parents weren't happy about it. I was 25 years old and left my career and left everything behind and went to Bible college, and nobody really understood it. But I knew that was my calling, and I felt that that's what the Lord wanted me to do. And so I obeyed him. I listened to him, and I went. And it was just an amazing time. And I eventually met Alex there. And at first I thought this guy's crazy. What am I thinking? There's no way I can be with this guy. It was just completely opposite of anything I ever thought I had ever wanted. But I followed the Lord and I prayed, which is something that I hadn't done for a long time in my life. to make my decisions in my life. And I prayed with Alex, and we really meditated for a long time on what the Lord wanted us to do, and it was to be together. And now, 3-4 years later, now the Lord has blessed us immensely. We, of course, all my crazy son that runs around here, Samuel, is just the love of our life. And with this new baby on the way, we just I just can't even express it. It's just, there's nothing that I can say to explain how the Lord has truly blessed my life. And I can say today that the only reason why the Lord has blessed me in my life is through the obedience that I have had. When I look back at my life before and all the things that happened in my life, and I know now is because I wasn't in the will of God. I was not obedient. I lived for this world. I did my own thing, and now that I am following the Lord, there's just nothing but blessings. And that, if I can encourage any of you today, it's to obey the Lord in everything that you do, even with the small things. Pray, seek after the Lord, and He's going to bless your life.